Back at CES, most of the big-name TV makers like Samsung and LG show off their upcoming TV sets for 2023. But one major name was missing. Now, Sony is finally ready to show off its flagship TVs, and after getting a chance to see them in person, I can definitely say it was worth the wait. Sony's 2023 line of Bravia XR TVs are all powered by the company's cognitive processor XR. That means they share the same underlying tech and processing, including support for stuff like Sony's XR Clear Image tech, which allows for adaptive noise reduction, auto HDR tone mapping, and more. For 2023, Sony is trying to take as much of the guesswork out of setup as possible by making its TVs look great right out of the box in standard video or cinematic modes. That means you shouldn't have to fuss around with various settings or need to get your TV professionally calibrated. Granted, calibration is still the way to go if you want the very best image quality, but for people who don't have a colorimeter at home or don't want to pay someone else to do it, which I think is pretty much everyone, this is a much welcome upgrade. Sony has also made a few design tweaks, including new tweeters that are built into the frames of certain TVs. Unfortunately, you can't really see them, but they do help deliver better audio, especially when they're paired with one of the company's high-end soundbars with center sync audio. Sony is also moving to an updated stand for most of its new sets, which allows for a bit more flexibility when trying to accommodate external speakers and soundbars. Finally, Sony also added new gaming and eco dashboards into their TVs, which makes it easier to find and adjust various settings. For gaming, you have options like VRR, motion blur reduction, and more. And for FPS fanatics, there's also a setting for adding a permanent crosshair to the middle of the screen, complete with various reticle options. Alternatively, the Eco Dashboard includes a simple walkthrough to help you choose power saving settings, including a happy little tree that grows when you do things like reduce the brightness or enable shorter idle power off times. But enough of this, let's talk about the TVs themselves. While Sony hasn't released exact pricing just yet, the X90L is likely to be the most affordable of the bunch, as it's the entry-level option in the Bravia XR family. It's the replacement to last year's X90K, and it sports a full array LED panel with improved clear imaging upscaling and significantly reduced blooming. And while Sony doesn't publicly disclose the exact number of dimming zones, the company says the X90L has up to 60% more dimming zones while also being up to 30% brighter than before. This model is also getting a new aluminum bezel instead of the plastic one on the X90K, and with the addition of a new massive 93-inch model, the X90L is the biggest TV in Sony's 2023 Bravia XR lineup. Next, when it comes to OLEDs, we have the A80L and the A95L, which boast improved contrast, and when compared side by side with rivals like the LG C2, I noticed Sony's OLEDs definitely did a better job at preserving details in shadows. The A95L was especially impressive thanks to its QD OLED panel and cognitive processor. Sony says brightness is now 2 times higher than before. This is big because for a long time, the brightness of OLED TVs has generally lagged behind that of more traditional LED sets. But now, Sony says the A95L is brighter than basically all but the most high-end LED rivals. And as someone who loves the super vibrant colors you get from OLED displays, the A95L might be my favorite of the entire line. Speaking of high-end, Sony's X93L and X95L are the company's 2 super premium flagship options. Both sets feature mini LED displays, with the main differences being that the X93L doesn't come with Sony's XR Clear Image tech. Meanwhile, the X95L offers similar peak brightness with 30% more local dimming zones. The downside is that the X95L is only available as an 83-inch model, so if you need something smaller, you'll have to go with the X93L. That said, when I compared the X93L and the X95L to one of Sony's super expensive reference monitors in a room with typical lighting, both did a great job of preserving details while also delivering extremely accurate colors. Admittedly, things like film grain were a bit more noticeable on the X93L because it doesn't have that clear image tech. But for film aficionados who really care about watching movies that look as close as possible to what the director intended, these are the sets to get. Sony's TVs almost made rivals like Samsung's Q90B looked washed out. So now that we've had a chance to check them out, regardless of what panel type you typically prefer, all of Sony's new Bravia XR TVs look awesome. You get way more dimming zones with the X90L, and the 2 times higher brightness on the A95L is absolutely stunning. And with Sony adding larger screen options to practically all of its models, there's a good chance you can find the right size set for whatever room you're looking for. Now, unfortunately, Sony hasn't revealed specific pricing or availability info for its new TV sets just yet, so stay tuned to Engadget for more. And as always, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more news, reviews, and videos real soon.